Welcome back to the Express in Poco at the Lee Square Community Arts Village. Our next story takes us up the sea to sky, where mountain biking is just wrapping up and skiing is just around the corner. So any idea what Whistler kids do in October and November? Well, a new club tackles the topic, literally.
Sit hut! Get past them, get rid of them.
Everybody's getting worked into new pads and new helmet, and then we're just getting used to hitting each other and form tackling, because we've got a game on Sunday.
All I'm looking for...
It's not a sight you'd expect to see in Whistler. Helmets, shoulder pads, and tackling. But football is pushing its way into the sea-to-sky sports scene every Tuesday and Thursday here at Spring Creek.
It's a fast-action sport, so it resembles to a few other sports that I do. Playing football improves my skills in soccer and moving amongst people, and same with biking, because it's another speed sport.
Drive him. Good job, both parts.
And that's why Whistler kids such as 11-year-old quarterback Jack Forsyth are signing up for the Sea to Sky Broncos Pee Wee football team. The team belongs to the Gordon Sturt Ridge Football League, which hosts a 10-game season with weekly games in Squamish and Vancouver. The team is feeling confident under the leadership of Coach Shu, who was drafted 34th overall by the Edmonton Eskimos in 1989.
To me, all the way through to me. I walk in here and it's like a kid in a candy store from a coaching perspective. They're on the hill in the wintertime, they're on the hill in the summertime on their bikes. So we put them on a football field, they're natural athletes and they do really, really well.
They look fantastic. I mean, you know, when you see a little kid with a helmet on like that, you kind of laugh, and then when you see the athleticism of the kids come out, it's really inspiring.
Let's go.
The Whistler Football Club was founded by Ralph Forsyth 4 years ago. The first incarnation began with the Whistler Saints flag football team.
Flag football is just for little kids, so 6 to 9 years old, and it's non-contact, and it's open to boys and girls. So instead of tackling, they would grab a flag off the child's belt.
The creation of the club came from a deep commitment. A commitment not to haul a car full of kids down to Squamish 3 times a week for football practice, including 7-year-old Liam Forsyth.
My youngest Liam just is crazy about football. He could tell you who played in the NFC Championship game last year, who the starting quarterbacks were.
But ask him who his favorite football team is, and the answer hits close to home.
My favorite football team is the Saints, and that's the team I'm on. I play running back and safety because I've always liked it in my life, and it's in my blood.
And they aren't afraid to spill it. Whether crashing on a ski hill or tumbling on their bikes, these young athletes won't shy from anything. Jack looks forward to hopefully playing the championship game in November. He might even make a career out of it one day, on one condition.
Living in Whistler, it's hard to choose between soccer, football, or skiing and mountain biking. It's all great, and I don't know, if I could, I'd do all of them. I'm not sure if that's possible.
Dancing with the stars.
Leaving Whistler kids with the biggest challenge football brings, deciding on what their favorite sport is this year. From Whistler, I'm Nicole Fitzgerald for The Express.
Football's an affordable sport for the families. The league owns the equipment, so the players just borrow it for the season. Boys and girls are welcome. We've got a great mix on today's Express, some recreational sport. Later, we'll talk cattle farming in Pitt Meadows. And right now, we're learning about Mexico's art from an expat that's an expert.
Escapes.ca Destinations is sponsored in part by Sunwing Vacations. Experience the difference.
Want to go on an adventure? Let me take you there. I'll give you an insider's look on where to eat, play, and stay from the expats and the experts. All this without ever leaving our own backyard. Your best tour guide is within reach. I'm Mona Mansour, and this is Escapes.ca Destinations.
Today, it's all about the art and culture of Mexico. We're going to speak to one expat who's dedicated her entire life to educating travelers about her country and her culture. She'll give you the tips before booking that dream vacation.
Patricia de la Maza is the cultural attaché of the Mexican consulate in Vancouver. Although moving to Canada over 25 years ago, she provides Canadians education about her home country.
Patricia, we are here at the Para Art Gallery in downtown Vancouver for the beautiful, magical Oaxaca exhibition of all this art from Oaxaca. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you for being here.
Why bring all of this art to Vancouver? What was the purpose?
Every September, we celebrate our independence and we promote one specific state, and this year is Oaxaca.
Patricia, where in Mexico is Oaxaca located?
Oaxaca is located in South Mexico.
This is a gorgeous, gorgeous dress. Is that one of the traditional outfits that they wear in Oaxaca?
Yes, it is. This is absolutely beautiful. It's embroidered by hand and it's velvet.
Visitors who come to Oaxaca can buy all these beautiful handicrafts and these handmade items at markets, right?
Yes, yeah, it's a wonderful experience to go to Oaxaca.
What city in Mexico are you from?
Originally, I'm from San Luis Potosí. We are like 4 hours driving from Mexico City.
What's one thing about your hometown that you'd like to share that you can't find anywhere else?
I would like to share the Baroque art inside our churches. It's so beautiful.
Patricia, these are some of the beautiful handicrafts that you can purchase here at the Para Gallery, and it just shows the craftsmanship of the people of Oaxaca, the artisans, and this is all handmade.
Yes, all the are handmade, and the colors are so brilliant, and they mix everything just like the nature is.
These are little bookmarks.
Bookmarks, exactly.
That they've carved out of wood.
You see all those little dots?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, they used the end of the cactus to put all those little dots. It's a lot of work.
Having taken in all the beautiful work of the Mexican artisans, I had to ask Patricia where she likes to vacation while in Mexico.
It's a beautiful place close to Playa del Carmen, and the name is Acumal.
Acumal.
Acumal. And actually was discovered at the same time of Cancun.
What do you think is something about the Mexican culture that people may not know about that may be a surprise to them when they visit Mexico?
You go to Mexico, if you're a rich person or you're a poor student, if you're traveling on backpack, everybody will like to take care of you.
Patricia, thank you so much for sharing all your wonderful knowledge about Mexico with us and our viewers at home. And I'm so glad they had a chance to meet you before booking their trip to Mexico.
Oh, thank you for being here.
Now for your travel tip of the week.
Even though there are some places or some hotels, some resorts in Mexico where you can drink water from the tap, I would recommend to drink water from a bottle.
Escapes.ca Destinations was sponsored in part by Sunwing Vacations. Experience the difference.
The wood carvings that we just saw were done by descendants of the Zapotec Indians in the region of Oaxaca. You can find out more about traveling in Mexico online at escapes.ca. But what about traveling a little closer to home? We've got some ideas for everybody coming up.
After the break,
you grow cranberries,
a tour of Hopcott Farms, the Vancouver International Flamenco Festival. The Express. We are your local voice.
Community programming on Shaw has been generously sponsored in part by
hairstyling and color services for Shaw TV, provided by The Lounge Hair Studio, loungehairstudio.com.
Today's generation of young people spend the least amount of time outside of any generation in human history. We need to have children out, we need to have people out in order to see the world around that allows us to live. I think something like the Sea to Sky Trail is the epitome of what we need to get people back out into the real world, to see nature as it can be, and something that we are a part of and that we must fight to protect.
Welcome back to the Express in Port Coquitlam. Today's Good for You, Good for the Earth segment takes us just a hop, skip, and a jump over to Pitt Meadows to meet one of the few cattle farmers left in the Lower Mainland.
FarmFolkCityFolk.ca, Good for You, Good for Our Earth, is brought to you by Farm Folk City Folk.
Hi, I'm Lori, and I'm here to share with you my passion for nutritious food and sustainable living. We'll see if these foods meet my dietitian's stamp of approval, and why these foods are not only good for you, but also good for our earth. We're at Hopcott Farm, a family-owned and operated beef producer located in Pitt Meadows, just a half-hour drive from Vancouver. So Bob, you grow corn, you grow cranberries, but I heard, pardon the pun, that your first love is cattle.
Yep, something I've done probably for the last 35 years.
They aren't born and bred here, actually. Where do they come from?
They come from the interior ranches of British Columbia. These are all ranches. We know the people personally. We know the background of the cattle. The huge difference to our feedlot than the huge commercial lots is we don't feed any antibiotics, or the cattle are not implanted with hormones.
Why do the big feedlots use the growth hormones to begin with?
Just dollars and cents. So
there's a type of cattle that is raised in the Kobe region of Japan.
Right.
And for them to have a premium product, they often massage their cows, and they feed their cows beer.
Yeah.
What do you do to romance your cows?
Well, I'd rather drink the beer myself.
So Bob, a lot of the problems that happen with really big industrialized meat producers is that there is a lot of pollution that runs off into the water. How do you get around that?
We get, of course, a lot of rain in the Fraser Valley of BC, so we make it that no manure is ever kept outside. It's either under a roof, or if we have to move it outside, it's under plastic. Like over here, it's under cover. So there's never any pollution into the water table or into the ditches. So it's something we're pretty fussy about.
So Bob, the food that we just saw that you were giving to the cows here, where is the majority of that grown?
Right on our farm. A lot of this is grass silage and corn silage, which comes right on our farm, which is within half a mile of where we're standing.
Also located just down the road is the family's meat shop, where Bob's son-in-law Lance gave us the tour.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Nice to meet you.
You too. So yeah, what we do that makes us different is that we allow the beef to come into here and age for 3 to 4 weeks. Basically, the big guys, they choose to age their beef in a box while it's traveling on the road, getting to the consumer, whereas we choose to do it the old style way back in the traditional butcher days of hanging it, eating the shrink ourselves, but giving a much tastier, tender product.
So I'm always talking to people about portion size, and Canada's Food Guide actually says a portion of meat is 2.5 ounces cooked. What would that be raw? What would a person buy when they come to your meat shop?
You'd be anywhere running, my guess would be 3.5 to 4 ounces. This is a 3.5 to 4 ounce tenderloin.
I'm very passionate about local food and good health. You're very passionate about meat. Where did that come from?
Why don't we start caring more about what we're fueling our bodies with? We seem to care where our cars are manufactured or where oil's coming from. But why aren't we concerned where our meat, where our food, where our produce is coming from? We should be. Are we going to change the world? No. Can we change our little communities? Yes, I think we can. I think we can try to eat healthier, and I think we'll have a better life, and I think we'll have a better society for it at the end of the day.
We've learned a lot about meat today, and it can be very confusing when you start to consider all the health and environmental pros and cons. I would suggest, when you're looking for meat for your next barbecue, listen to the same advice my mother gave to me about dating. Look for quality rather than quantity. For Shaw TV, I'm Lori, and this has been Good for You and Good for our Earth.
FarmFolkCityFolk.ca, good for you, good for our earth, has been brought to you by Farm Folk City Folk.
The Hopcott Meat Store also carries local fruits and vegetables grown from select farms in BC. You're watching The Express, and it's time now for our spotlight on local events. Just in time for the spooky season, you can chill to the sometimes gruesome but always thrilling story of the historical character of Judge Dee, the Tang Dynasty's Sherlock Holmes. Join the Running Room on a Run Walk fundraiser on September 28th. This event raises funds for the construction of a new Ronald McDonald House in Vancouver. This year's Vancouver International Improv Festival will be packed with gifted performers from across the world and as close as your backyard, all coming together for a week of over 20 entertaining shows. Also, the Vancouver International Flamenco Festival starts on September the 26th. We're going to leave you with some dancing, and we'll see you next time.